going, I guess, on from training and into the impacts of this technology and where it's good. I guess, can you give a bit of insight as to where it is best? I know we kind of touched on that, but I think a lot of people are going to presume, great, I've got this automation element going here. It could be something, a tool like Zapier or something of that sort. Where is it best deployed? Where is this technology good, and so on?
So it's the best way to probably look at it is there's not going to be an overlying kind of stick an agent here and your revenue is going to go up by 20%.
Yep.
It, as you said, it's a very situational thing. Depending on what practices are, also depending on what skills you've got in an office.
Yeah.
So depending on what skills you've got in a business, I mean, you can work somewhere where you've got a whiz kid, able to handle immense amounts of workloads. They know where the data is going. They know how it's all working, and they're adding their wisdom on top of that as well. They're adding their skill, all of that. In another business, they might not have that person. So you could go and say, okay, cool. Well, I need to go and replicate some of that functionality that we're getting over there in this space, or whatever the case is. That's a good place to go and have a look at it. So it's about identifying those kind of gaps in a business. Yeah. And as you said, I mean, you need to go and really figure out what your workflows are. Yeah. Where are your bottlenecks happening? Why are they happening? Is it a data problem? Is it a resource problem? Is it a complexity issue? So it's about really having a look at all of those different areas. There's no, I mean, look, I'm a security guy, so having a look at AI, I can have a look at it to a certain extent, but I don't necessarily see anywhere that you can really just take one agent and go and drop it. Like I said, from a security standpoint, getting it on first line, it's really great because it can respond very quickly. Yeah. It can build a ticket very quickly. So that goes through onto your system. It takes down the information perfectly. And I think that's one of the areas. So if you've got an area of your business where your information is messy and you don't have any way to measure it because every time it's getting drafted in, it's coming in a different format, or it's being documented in a different way, that's somewhere that you can have a look at it. So from a security standpoint, all of that information generally has to be pretty standard. Yeah. What's the issue? Who's it affecting? Yeah. When did we first notice? What was the breach point? All of those wonderful things. That's a really good use case for it. But in most businesses, you're not really going to have a silver bullet agent that's going to go in and kind of solve all of those issues. Yeah. You really need to go and understand what your
and I think that's where, I mean, naturally with the topic of AI comes a concern around, is my job at risk? Am I vulnerable to being made redundant? And I think I've heard you say this many times. I've heard it, it's said in other places. It's an unwillingness, I guess, to adopt and learn this technology is what will result in perhaps your role becoming redundant.
That's the biggest risk.
With every technological shift, it's about keeping up with that change. And as you just, I think, outlined there, what can be quite important to this process, at least in this early stage deployment, is you're going to still need people to understand those processes. It's very unlikely you're going to have the business owner that's going to understand the marketing process or the HR process or the finance, where you're going to get heads of those departments that really need to kind of map out those workflows and those processes. And even then, it's the struggle of keeping control of it, keeping control of the technology. So I think where there's a lot of panic and concern, and I think at least from my side or from no one can really predict the future, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think the reality is human beings are going to very much need to be in control of these machines, these processes. Otherwise, you end up with security problems, as I think you perhaps alluded to.